9-time Formula One race winner, 12 years at the pinnacle of his sport, where the tightest margins can be the difference between success and failure. You have to be fit physically on and off the track, and therein lies the foundation for the latest apparel brand at Running Warehouse Australia, Aussie Grit Apparel. We're going to have a chat with Mark Webber about his life on and off the track, and then we're going to go through a few of our favourite Aussie Grit pieces.
I'm excited to say that the Running Warehouse in Australia has got their newest brand in store now, and it's Aussie Grit Apparel. When I was competing, I needed to be fit mentally and physically, and there was no other better way for me to do that than to get out into the great outdoors and get running and get training. So our staff at Aussie Grit Apparel have now embraced that, and we've produced some of the toughest and the most comfiest apparel in the running segment to this date. So we're stoked about that. We've got some really nice awards already in the industry, and the customers and the feedback has been very, very positive from, as I say, industry and customers across the board. So stay tuned. There's more news from Aussie Grit Apparel coming soon with some really exciting fresh garments. But in the meantime, get in store, grab some gear, and go for a blast. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us, Mark. Now, first things first, and the most important question, I think, is, out of all the places here and abroad that you've travelled and run, where is your favourite trail?
Favourite trail run in the world, I would say Aspen, Colorado, and also sections of Tasmania. Absolutely love running in those wilderness in the pine needles, and single track is absolutely gorgeous. So New Zealand on the hit list.
Tasmania is a beautiful part of the world. So, can you tell us the inspiration behind Aussie Grit Apparel?
Inspiration behind Aussie Grit Apparel, very easy. When I was racing, I loved the outdoors. I was always out training, hated gyms, and the running trails, whether it was biking as well, all those type of sports just gravitated me towards being around great people. And whether they were also fellow athletes, also sections of the military, I learned that apparel was a key component of you enjoying your outdoor sports. So we made our own. With an Australian twist, of course, tough, rugged, comfy, loyal and dependable. And that's how we are focusing on Aussie Grit Apparel going forward.
Tough, rugged and dependable is definitely how I'd describe Aussie Grit. So, Mark, high speed, quick thinking, fast reflexes. It's not exactly how most people would describe adventure or trail racing. And so when you compare it to F1, it seems like there's a vast difference between the two. But I'm sure there are similarities between them. Can you go on and explain what you think the similarities are?
People often ask me what drew me to adventure racing when I was competing in Formula One, and there was a lot of similarities actually. Some people don't really know what they are, but it's of course concentration, preparation, making sure that you put a tremendous amount of work into focusing on that race, whatever it is, a short event, a long event. And all disciplines have to be focused on as well, whether it's running, whether it's mountain biking, paddling, rope work. So that was really, really enjoyable, and I enjoyed that build-up and goal-orientated focus to get the best out of yourself. So yeah, it was fun, and also the team spirit. There's a lot of teamwork in adventure racing, and that's also very similar when it comes to competing in motorsport.
And going on from that, what do you find more stressful or nerve-wracking, an F1 race or an adventure race? Well, I know which one I'd choose, but what about yourself?
More nerve-wracking, Formula One race or an adventure race? You know, I think that probably an adventure race, because it wasn't my profession, and I was definitely a little bit out of my depth, where I hope I wasn't too much in my Formula One career, even though you definitely still do learn a lot when you're competing at the top end. But you know, I loved being around people that really, really stretched me, and that definitely happened in adventure racing. That often I was hit with new scenarios. I had to be, pivot very quick and understand how I was going to get myself out of those situations. So, really learnt a lot, and with that, of course, come a little bit of extra stress. But in general, at the end of each night, you could really have a great time and enjoy the camaraderie, and that's what adventure racing and I suppose, the weekend warriors, let's say, like myself, really enjoy.
And now moving on and talking about the design process, are you heavily involved with the design process, and then how long does it take from idea to finished project?
People often ask me, am I involved in the design process? And that answer to that is absolutely yes. Of course, on the male side, it's hard for me to test a lot of the female garments, which of course we have our testers doing that for us in the female side. But on the male side, it's not just me. I do have some other guys helping me out, but we really take a fastidious approach in selecting the right fabrics, of course, the right trims, tough zips, all the things that we want to focus on to make the function and durability and comfort as at the forefront of our minds when we are designing the garment. So it takes about 18 months from concept through to being onto the shop floor.
Now this one I'm sure will be an easy question for you. What's your favourite Aussie Grit apparel piece?
The impossible question. The favourite piece of Aussie Grit apparel for me, probably the 2-in-1 bike short. Really happy with how that's come out. The chamois world class, the fit, it's super quick, it's elegant, storage is amazing, and I've done some very long days in that garment, which we're very happy with how that's come out. Gilets are good. They're very comfy, going on today, so that's something we're proud of as well, or I like. And then also, on top of that, all the best sellers. Typically, a lot of our shorts do well in both segments. The down jacket's absolutely phenomenal. So it's really hard for me to button down on one, but yeah, there's obviously a couple of key favourites which I had a little bit more to do with than others.
Thanks for your time today, Mark. We really appreciate it. Now let's change gears and have a look at some of our favourite pieces from Aussie Grit Apparel. Let's start off with the men's trail short sleeve t-shirt, which I'm modelling for you here, and the women's racerback singlet. Both feature 4-way stretch material, flat lock seams, reflective highlights on the front and the back for low light conditions, and great moisture wicking properties, all in a lightweight package. The Aussie Grit women's run short, 2-in-1 for comfort and compression for that performance benefit, laser cut holes on the outer for breathability, 2 pockets for storage, an inner pocket and a rear zip pocket, 4-way stretch fabric, flat lock seams for comfort, and reflective detailing for those runs in low light conditions. Next, we've got the women's 3/4 running tight, featuring a mid-rise waistband for comfort, 4-way stretch fabric, ventilated mesh behind the knee for heat regulation, and reflective detailing for those low light conditions. Next for the men, we've got the men's Icon 2-in-1 short. It comes with a lightweight performance inner for comfort and staying chafe free, a lightweight outer short with laser cut holes to keep the heat downstairs, 3 pockets, 2 strategically placed on the side and a 3rd zippered pocket at the back, 4-way stretch fabric, flat lock seams and reflective detailing for those low light runs. And lastly, for both men and women, we have the Aussie Grit Focus jacket. If you need a jacket that meets Ultra Trail Race mandatory gear list checks, then look no further than this jacket. As sponsor of UTA in 2019, Aussie Grit made sure this jacket met all your race day requirements. It is waterproof and still breathable with 360-degree reflectivity so you can be seen no matter the light conditions, flat lock and fully sealed seams, venting under the arms, and an adjustable hood with a structured peak. Once again, we'd like to throw out a big thank you to Mark for taking the time out today to speak with us. And as always, you can find all this and more at Running Warehouse Australia, runningwarehouse.com.au.